The taste of summer for so many of us starts with mangoes. It tastes like Christmas. Researchers from Griffith University and the University of Adelaide are doing some research in Perth this weekend to find out what we like as regards to mangoes, hoping to breed some more effective mango varieties here. So why are you developing this new breed of mango, Tara?
There's a few reasons. One of the main reasons is because the most popular variety in Australia, Kensington Pride, or KP as a lot of people know it, is a low yielding and irregular yielding biannual bearing tree. So yield is definitely one of the reasons why we're looking at breeding new varieties, but we're also looking at other characteristics. The KPs are very difficult to handle in terms of their skin. They're very susceptible to sap burn, that kind of thing. And also we're looking at improving the yield, improving the look of the fruit and potentially the flavour of the fruit as well. So looking for a nice blush is very important.
So currently, when do the mangoes grow? We seem to only see them at around about Christmas time.
In Kununurra, they can start as early as September, normally about October, and October, November is the peak there, and then move down to Carnarvon, which is just around about the Christmas time, December, January. But we even have mangoes in Gingin, just north of Perth, and they're about March, April.
So these new varieties, are we going to extend that growing season somewhat?
Yeah, hopefully earlier in Kununurra and then later in Gingin. So
we like mangoes a lot in WA. In fact, per capita, Northern Territory holds the crown, but WA is the second highest consumers of mangoes in Australia. So what we're looking at is really trying to find out people's willingness to pay for a certain type of mango, and in the first instance seeing the mango, and then in the second instance tasting the mango. So things like the sweetness, the sourness, the mouthfeel, the appeal, they're all very important. Whether or not it's mangoes or coffee or ice cream, understanding people's willingness to pay is really important.
So how will the research be used?
So looking at the journey we've been on, the breeding program and the new mangoes started back in the 90s. And so we've come the journey with all of the issues of on-farm and the technical, which are really important. But one of the things we don't understand is the demand drivers. Why are people willing to buy? And that's important both in domestic and international markets. So in Australia, people in Melbourne do not buy mangoes the same as people in WA. So as a first instance, understanding purchase drivers in WA will give us an understanding for the breeders, the growers, how and what characteristics of the mangoes people want to purchase.
Well, they look for a range of characteristics like the size of the mango, the size of the seed, and also the taste experience. For example, the smoothness of the flesh, and the texture, whether they feel the texture is rich or not so rich, and also sweetness, which is very important for a range of consumers, and also sourness. Some people prefer a hint of sourness, but some people just want pure sweetness. So yeah.
What's the most difficult thing with doing taste tests with the general public?
I think you have to ask them to not talking. Communication will affect results, right? Because when you taste and then when the person next to you tastes and you talk about, then the person next to you might change your preferences. So this is the first most important point.
Now, you're not just doing the research within Australia, are you? Doing this taste testing in other countries?
Yes, we did this experiment in China last October. So it's in Shanghai, the big city in China, with over 100 consumers as well.
And what were they looking for in their mangoes? Was it the same as Australian tasters?
Well, we found out that they prefer sweet mangoes. And in China, of course, we had one domestic variety, but people tend to value the imported, like Thailand and Philippine mango more than the domestic variety at the time in October. But it may be different at other times when there are other Chinese varieties available.
So the new variety, when it comes on board, are we planning just to sell that in Western Australia, or is that going overseas?
Definitely there's a plan to increase the supply nationally, certainly in WA and across the broader part of Australia, but also there's export markets. And one of the issues with developing new mangoes such as these today is the investment over time, so the return. So export markets will be considered, and export markets are an opportunity for us again to showcase the great work we do in Australia. You know, it's an unkept secret, the level of advancement and technology we have in primary industries in Australia and in particular in WA. So the economic benefit that flows back from being able to export these products and be able to receive, you know, income and return for effort for the growers, that's a really significant part of being involved in such a terrific project.
This is Jane Heberton reporting for WTV. Happy mangoes.